In a place called the Vertical, there's a very unique prison with 333 floors, each having a hole in the middle. Food is lowered on a platform, and prisoners have only 2 minutes to eat before the platform moves to the next floor. The lower they are, the less food they get. If anyone tries to save food for later, they are punished. At the end of each month, prisoners are randomly moved to different floors, and each one is allowed to bring one item. Somewhere in the building, kids play on a strange pyramid before going to their cells. Prisoners are asked for their favorite dish, which is added to the platform's food. Zayton requests pizza because he gets nervous without it, recalling how he once set his parents' house on fire while they were asleep. The interviewer knows Zayton regretted it and even wrote about it in his autobiography. Meanwhile, Perempuin says her favorite food is ham croquettes made by her ex, and she's here to forget what she did. Zayton and Perempuin are placed on level 24. Zayton checks the platform for pizza but is upset that others have taken bites and stolen toppings from above. They hear that prisoners on level 21 ate food that wasn't theirs. Angry, Zayton grabs some chicken to eat, but Robespierre and his cellmate from level 23 stop him. A group of prisoners follow a rule where you can only eat the food you chose or trade voluntarily so that everyone gets fed. Those who follow this rule are called loyalists, and those who don't are called barbarians. Robespierre warns Zayton that eating out of revenge will create chaos and starve the lower levels. Zayton doesn't care and is about to eat, but Perrin shares her croquettes to stop him. The next day, prisoners from level 21 get angry about the rules, and Robespierre says they might have to fight for food. Perrin breaks her bed to get a metal bar for a weapon. When the platform arrives, there's a dead body on it. Robespierre and a man from level 21 fall onto the platform while a woman above kicks off food, trying to avoid punishment for taking too much. Her level starts heating up, and she catches on fire, falling onto the platform while Robespierre and the other man fight. Perrin puts out the fire with her bedsheets, but the woman is already dead. Perrin tries to help with the fight but is quickly overpowered as the man from level 21 is knocked out. The platform starts moving down, so Perrin and Robespierre quickly throw all the fallen food into the pit. The temperature drops rapidly, but they manage to get rid of the food just in time to avoid freezing to death. After the platform leaves, Robespierre panics, realizing the burned woman is dead. Zayton tries to calm him, but Robespierre snaps and grabs him by the neck. Perrin yells at them to stop. The unconscious guy from level 21 is tied up, and Robespierre says he's going to take the body down to find the anointed ones. Zayton is confused, so Robespierre tells him the story. A long time ago, a man known as the Master or Messiah created the fair distribution rules. No one knows if he's still alive or if he was even real. The Master preached a message of hope, saying he survived a month on a low level without eating by meditating. But the next month, he woke up at the bottom and, without food, resorted to cannibalism, feeding the needy with his own leg. Those who ate his flesh are called the anointed ones, spreading the message of solidarity. Zayton doesn't believe the story and yells about not eating for 2 days just as the lights go out. Ignoring him, Robespierre throws the burned woman's body into the pit, and it hits the edges of the floors, breaking apart. Eventually, the pieces reach the bottom where cannibals grab them to eat. The next day, the platform brings the pizza Zayton wanted, and he finally eats. Robespierre has his dish and throws the dead prisoner's food into the toilet, explaining that distributing leftovers randomly only benefits a few and causes more fights. Robespierre gives Zayton and Perrin a few dishes to protect before leaving on the platform with the prisoner. Days pass and they eat their meals. They throw away leftovers to avoid trouble, but when no one is looking, Zayton secretly eats some. Over time, Zayton and Perrin grow closer, helping each other with things like grooming and sharing food. Perrin keeps herself busy by doodling on the wall with razors. On the last day of the month, Perrin invites Zayton to draw on the wall too. He says he's more of a science guy and spent most of his life studying math. Zayton writes an equation on the wall and says it made him quit because the solution was imaginary. He explains that accepting something without physical reality as the right answer made him lose trust in math. That's when he left his job, his research, and his family to return to his parents' house. Later that night, they hear the food has reached level 175, something that has never happened before. Everyone is excited, and Perrin asks Zayton to dance with her. After some hesitation, he agrees and they enjoy themselves. The next morning, they wake up horrified to find themselves on level 180. When the platform arrives, there's no food left. Days go by, and they struggle through their hunger. Perrin keeps drawing on the walls to distract herself. Zayton's chosen item is a lighter, and he starts burning his clothes for fun. Eventually, he burns his skin too, and Perrin has to stop him. Suddenly, Zayton vomits blood, showing he's sick. At the same time, a head falls down the pit. Voices from above warn that the Anointed Ones are killing barbarians on each level. More time passes, and Perrin focuses on caring for Zayton while noticing that people below are looking thin. Body parts continue to fall down the pit, and it's clear the Anointed Ones are still fighting. Messages from above say they're getting closer, and there's a list of barbarians they want to catch, including a fat man from level 24 who ate food meant for the dead. To protect Zayton, Perrin lies, saying they came from level 74. That night, Zayton reflects on his interview. He tried to claim people were afraid of him, but the interviewer knew the truth. Zayton had dropped out of school at 16, failed in business, and was kicked out by his wife and kids. Even his parents sent him to the facility to learn discipline. Feeling he has nothing left and not wanting Perrin to be punished for helping him, Zayton uses his lighter to end his life. Perrin watches, crying, as his body falls into the pit. Prisoners below try to grab his body for food, but the flames make them let go. His body reaches the bottom, and the cannibals wait for the fire to die out before eating. At the start of the new month, Perrin wakes on level 51 with Natalia, who picked plums as her food and a pillow as her item. Natalia is also missing an arm. When the platform arrives, her plums are gone, but Perrin convinces her to follow the rules. That night, Perrin hallucinates Zayton in the room. Later, another head falls, and they hear that an anointed one named Dodan Bobby is hunting barbarians. The rule is that only prisoners above a barbarian's level should go down to punish them. But when the platform comes, Natalia jumps on it to join the fight, determined to avenge Zayton. Perrin follows her. As the platform descends, more prisoners agree to join their cause. Eventually, they reach a level with a barbarian named Oscar, who attacks first and stabs someone on the platform. A brutal fight breaks out, leaving everyone injured. After exchanging punches and kicks, Oscar pretends to surrender, but just as the platform is about to leave, he jumps on. Natalia, furious, follows and starts beating him, but Oscar pulls her down and gets ready to stab her. Just then, Perrin lands on the platform as it stops on the next level. Perrin helps Natalia, and another prisoner tackles Oscar, choking him. Sadly, the prisoner gets stabbed, so Perrin steps in and continues to beat Oscar. Oscar starts crying and explains he's been in the facility for over a year, just trying to survive like everyone else. Feeling sorry for him, Perrin lets him escape, blocking Natalia from stopping him. That night, Natalia reveals she's been in the facility for 6 months. When she first arrived, her cellmate explained the rules, and she followed them, even though she didn't find them fair. Later, they found a dying man and gave him food from a dead prisoner to help him. The next day, Dodan Bobby came to punish them. They took Natalia's arm and killed her cellmate by strapping her to the bottom of the platform, where cannibals ate her. Natalia realized then that no one ever leaves the facility, and survival is just an illusion. She believes the only way to escape is to fake their deaths when prisoners are gassed and moved at the end of the month. Natalia thinks they can be thrown out of the facility if they appear dead. She believes she can do it by eating an oil painting a prisoner brought, but doesn't know what level it's on. A few days later, they see someone tied to the bottom of the platform. This means Dodan Bobby is close, so Natalia convinces Perrin to go down to avoid them. Unfortunately, the platform stops and Dodan and his group arrive. He pretends to be generous, offering food, but once the platform leaves, Dodan captures Natalia, Perrin, and others who fought with them earlier. Dodan gives a speech about how people must follow the law without making exceptions. He reveals he's missing his eyes, using it to prove his point. Then, they strip Natalia and tie her to the bottom of the platform to be sent to the cannibals. Perrin is held down with her arm extended over the pit so that when the platform moves, it tears her arm off. Meanwhile, in the mysterious room, the kids continue playing, multiplying as they do. The next month, Perrin wakes on level 72 and meets her new cellmate, Trimagesi, whose item is a knife. His appearance shows this story takes place before the first movie. When the platform arrives, Trimagesi eats without following the rules. Perrin, having lost faith in the system, jumps on the platform, inviting Trimagesi to join her. As they descend, Perrin convinces more barbarians, including Oscar, to join her. Soon, the platform is packed with people who hate the Loyalists. A few levels later, Perrin declares the group is big enough, and they step off the platform. It's then revealed Perrin's real goal was to find the infamous painting hidden in that cell. She recruited barbarians just for protection. The next day, Dodan Bobby empties the platform before it reaches their level. He says he'll wait until they're weak to attack, offering mercy if they surrender. A debate breaks out and some barbarians leave for the lower levels. Trimagesi suddenly suggests they go down and eat any loyalists they find. The group cheers and Perrin remembers her interview. She was once a famous artist, and the painting Natalia was looking for was actually her own. She had accidentally killed her fiancé's child and ended up in the facility. The next time Perrin wakes, she tastes meat in her mouth, though she had refused to eat human flesh. A woman fed her because she was so weak. Haunted by hallucinations of her fallen friends, Perrin finally accepts the meat. Later, as the platform approaches, Perrin hides the painting in her pants, but Oscar notices. The platform arrives filled with mattresses that fall to reveal Dodan Bobby and his loyalists, who immediately attack. A brutal fight breaks out, and the floor is soaked in blood. Trimagesi accidentally kills a woman he liked and, traumatized, hides under the bed. Oscar starts choking Perrin, but Trimagesi gives her his knife, which she uses to stab Oscar. As he dies, he asks why the painting mattered so much. Perrin hides with Trimagesi, crying as the others continue fighting. In the end, only Trimagesi and Perrin survive, with Dodan Bobby mortally wounded. When the platform descends, bodies fall into the pit. Perrin sees Dodan Bobby is still alive but leaves him to suffer. She then throws all the bodies into the pit, leaving Dodan for last. Perrin tells Trimagesi she's leaving and invites him to join her, but he stays, saying it was the best month of his life. She eats the painting and passes out just as the gas fills the room. In the mysterious room, a boy reaches the top of a pile of children, and two workers arrive to take him away. Perrin wakes up tied to a pile of bodies being moved by facility workers, meaning Natalia's plan worked. As she's pushed through the pit, she watches the workers clean the cells and rearrange the prisoners with low gravity. When the workers leave the pile at the end of the pit, Perrin realizes something terrible. This isn't the exit. It's level 333. She quickly frees herself from the ropes and hides under a bed, watching as the men bring in a child. The boy is left on a bed, and the bodies are pushed into a secret level below 333. Still feeling guilty for the death of her fiancé's child, Perrin decides to make things right by saving this boy. She jumps to the other bed but hits her head. Struggling with the low gravity, she tries to pick up the boy, only to knock her head again and pass out. Perrin then appears on a platform surrounded by cannibals with the child in the middle. A man hands her a knife, inviting her to eat the boy, but she wakes up screaming. It was just a dream. She's still on level 333 with the child, and the platform soon takes them down to the dark bottom. Cannibals gather around her, but they don't attack because of the child. They explain that Perrin's journey is over, and only the children are allowed to go back up. The cannibals help her off the platform and watch as it ascends, taking the boy to new prisoners. Over time, more prisoners arrive at the bottom, each carrying a child on the platform. It becomes clear that the facility uses kids as a way to manipulate prisoners, giving them false hope or keeping them from escaping. This includes the ending of the first movie, where Goring arrives with a girl. Seeing a vision of Trimagesi, Goring steps off the platform, letting the girl go up. At that moment, Perrin finds Goring and hugs him, revealing that he was her fiancé. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.